I come home late at night. The street is quiet, almost too quiet. Street lights flicker like they are uncertain. I notice a small package at my door, wrapped in plain brown paper, tied with thin twine. A note rests on top, neatly folded. I do not pick it up. I do not want to know. The next night, the same thing. A different package, slightly larger. The note looks familiar, yet new. I feel my chest tighten. Each night, the packages keep coming. I do not touch them at first. I do not read the notes. Inside, the gifts are strange. A key with no lock. A small doll with glass eyes that stare. A music box that plays a lullaby I never heard. I feel watched when I open the door. The shadows around my apartment stretch too long. The air tastes cold and metallic. One evening, I hear footsteps. Slow, deliberate, not from the street, from inside the building. I hold my breath. The packages appear closer together. Closer to my door than ever before. I feel my stomach knot in fear. The notes change. The handwriting is smaller, sharper. Something about the lines of the letters feels threatening. My mind tries to convince me I am imagining things. My heart refuses to agree. Tonight, the package is large, heavy. The paper feels wrong under my fingers. The note flutters in the breeze, almost calling me. I resist. I cannot bring myself to read it. The silence of the hallway presses against my ears. I hear a whisper, soft, distant, but unmistakable. It says my name. I do not respond. I tell myself it is the wind. I tell myself I am safe. The gifts escalate. Not just objects now. Photos of my apartment. Pictures of me sleeping. The sense of being watched turns into certainty. Every shadow in the hall looks like it moves toward me. Every creak of the floor sounds like footsteps behind me. I consider leaving, moving far away, but the next day, the smallest note appears on my door. It reads only one word. I do not want to read it. I cannot ignore it forever. I know this. I know it waits for me to open it. The air inside my apartment is thick. My skin feels tight. I feel eyes pressing into the back of my neck. I stand frozen at the door. The package is cold beneath my fingers. I do not know who leaves it. I do not know why. The note trembles in my hands, as if alive. Something inside me urges me to run. Something darker urges me to see. The hallway light flickers. I hear breathing. Not mine. The anticipation gnaws at me. My pulse echoes in my ears. The shadow near the corner moves. Closer to the door. I know the moment will come. I know I will see what is written. I do not want to. But I cannot stop my hands. The door is slightly ajar. The note slips between my fingers. A whisper circles the room, soft and sharp. My breath catches. I feel something cold brush my arm. I glance down at the note. The words are not what I expect. They are worse. I feel my stomach drop. The room seems to shrink. I know I am not alone. The packages, the notes, the whispers, they are all around me now. Every gift carries a message I never wanted to read. Every shadow carries intent. The air tastes like fear. I drop the note. It flutters to the floor as if it weighs nothing. The whisper grows louder. Not one voice. Many voices. Calling me. Laughing softly. I back away from the door. The hallway stretches endlessly. The light flickers and dies. Darkness presses in from all sides. I realize I am trapped. Not just by the gifts, not just by the notes, but by the eyes that watch me from the edges of the shadows. By the voices that know every secret I hide. By the presence that waits for me to make the smallest mistake. I cannot leave. I cannot hide. Every night, every step, every breath is no longer mine. The gifts will keep coming. The notes will keep waiting. And I will keep fearing. What I do not want to read. I cannot breathe. The darkness is thick, almost solid. My apartment feels smaller. Walls close in as though they are alive. The floor beneath me seems to pulse. Each heartbeat echoes like a drum. The door creaks. Not under my hand. Something unseen pushes it wider. The shadow at the edge of the hallway stretches further into the room. I cannot tell if it has shape. I cannot tell if it is human. Only that it moves with intent. A cold wind brushes my neck. I shiver despite the warmth of the apartment. I hear paper rustle. Not from the note I dropped. From the pile of packages lined up neatly in the corner. They were not there before. Each one larger, heavier, somehow darker than the last. I step back. My foot brushes a box. It topples, spilling its contents onto the floor. I freeze. Inside are photographs. Pictures of my bedroom, my kitchen, my bathroom. Taken while I slept. I cannot remember opening the door. I cannot remember leaving my apartment. A note slips out from between the photos. I catch it reflexively. The handwriting is jagged, almost carved into the paper. I feel bile rise in my throat. I know the moment I read it, I cannot undo it. I try to set it down. My hands tremble. They do not obey me. The note reads only one sentence. It says my name, and then, I am watching. The room goes still. Every sound vanishes. The apartment seems emptied of air. I hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. A voice whispers again, not distant this time, close, directly behind me. I turn. Nothing. The shadows stretch, twist, and bend in impossible ways. A reflection in the mirror catches my eye. I see a figure standing in the corner of the room. Tall, dark, faceless. I feel its gaze pierce me, though its face shows nothing. I stumble backward. The packages begin to move, sliding across the floor, arranging themselves in a circle around me. The air smells of iron. I taste it on my tongue. I fall to my knees. The whispering grows louder, 1,000 voices now, laughing, calling, taunting. I cannot focus on a single one. All I know is fear. All I know is I am trapped. One package opens on its own. Inside is a mask, pale, expressionless, human-like. I know it is not for me to wear. It is for me to see. A note is pinned to it. I do not want to read it. Something presses against my back. Cold, heavy, like iron chains. I struggle. The whispers become voices I recognize. Friends, family, strangers, voices from my past. They speak my secrets aloud. The things I have hidden. The things I have denied. I scream. No sound comes out. My throat feels sealed. The mask moves slightly. Its empty eyes seem to focus on me. I feel myself pulled forward, drawn toward the packages. I fall among them, hands trembling. I touch the note pinned to the mask. The ink burns. I read it without reading. It knows. It knows everything. Every fear, every shame, every hidden thought. The shadows twist. They coil around me like smoke. I feel them under my skin, inside my chest, curling in my stomach. I try to move. My body refuses. I am no longer mine. Then a door slams. The sound echoes like a gunshot. The shadows retreat. The whispers fade to nothing. For a moment, silence reigns. I am alone, or at least I think I am. The note flutters from the mask. I do not pick it up. I do not want to. The packages remain in the circle, neatly aligned, waiting. I hear a slow, deliberate knock. From the door, the one I thought I locked. It does not stop. I cannot move. The air tastes metallic again. A shadow detaches from the wall and glides toward the door. I want to run. I want to escape. I cannot. My body does not obey. The knock becomes pounding. A whisper creeps into my ear. Closer than before. I feel breath on my neck. It says, "You cannot leave. You cannot hide. You will read." The packages shift again. One opens violently. I feel an invisible hand shove me down. Something cold presses against my chest. I see a hand, or what looks like a hand, reach from the shadow and touch the mask. The empty eyes stare at me. And I realize it is not the mask that watches me. It is everything. I try to scream again. Finally, a sound escapes. But it is not my voice. It is a chorus of every note I never read. Every whisper I ignored. Every gift I feared. The room spins. The air thickens. I hear my name called from every corner. The packages vibrate, hum, almost alive. I feel myself falling into the circle. Into the shadows. And then I see it. The note. The one I never wanted to read. It floats in front of me, suspended. Ink bleeds like blood. It spells one word. I cannot stop myself from reading. Forever. The shadows surge. The room collapses inward. Everything I know disappears. I am engulfed. And I understand. The gifts never stop. The notes never end. And the presence that haunts me is not waiting. It is already inside. I am not alone. I am never alone. And I will never escape. Days blur into nights. The packages continue, but their pace slows. The whispers do not stop. They are quieter now, almost thoughtful. The shadows linger, but they no longer coil as tightly around me. I learn to move carefully. To avoid their touch. To ignore the invitations I no longer open. The notes still appear, but I leave them untouched. I understand now. They are part of the game. I stop trying to flee. I stop trying to fight. I do not know who, or what, watches me. But I know I am still here. Still breathing. Still alive. One morning, I find a note different from the rest. It lies on the door, small and folded neatly. The handwriting is familiar, but softer. Less sharp. Almost human. I open it cautiously. It says only, "You are learning." I feel a strange relief. The air in my apartment feels lighter. The shadows do not vanish, but they do not press as close. I realize the gifts are no longer threats. They are reminders. Of presence. Of boundaries. Of something I cannot fully understand. I leave a small offering at the door. A candle, unlit. A token of acknowledgement. The next morning, it is gone. The note beside it reads, "We see you. I accept this. I understand the unspoken rules. I do not read every note. I do not touch every package. I move with care, aware of the invisible eyes. And in that awareness, I reclaim a fragile peace." The gifts continue to appear. The shadows linger. The whispers hum softly in the corners of my mind. But I am no longer paralyzed. I am no longer entirely afraid. I know they are still here. I know they always will be. But I am learning to exist alongside them. To live with the presence that watches. To survive with the knowledge I once wished to avoid. And in that acceptance, I find a strange solace. A balance between fear and understanding. The packages will arrive. The notes will wait. And I will continue, step by step, day by day, learning to live in the space between the seen and unseen. Where the gifts at my door are no longer just threats. But reminders that some mysteries do not require answers. Only respect. And careful attention. I close my door each night with steady hands. I breathe deeply in the quiet that remains. I am cautious. I am aware. I am alive. And for now, that is enough.